Hello and welcome again. This is Robert Schein, Managing Director and Partner of Blanke, Schein Wealth Management. Today is January 14th of 2022, and you're joining us for our Friday Insights edition, where we go a little bit deeper and we spend a little bit more time on topics that clients at home and friends and family want to know a little bit more about. So thanks for watching. In today's episode, we're going to go a little bit deeper into the millionaire mindset. You know, we see it all around us today in social media. There's lifestyle, we have, celebrities, and you have everything. What is wealth? I'm going to define it. In fact, there's a better way of defining it if we go back and look at, some of the best books, business books, if you imagine, that I believe were ever written. And one of them here is The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley. My dad gave this to me in the 90s. And if you don't know this, I'm a first generation in this country. My dad came over from Europe in Yugoslavia at the time in 1953. He came over to this country, obviously with his family back then. And he said, Robert, we came to America for one reason, and it's for education and opportunity. And so it's still since that day, I never forgot the sacrifices that my family before me and my parents made as they raised me. They sacrificed to put me in quality schools with quality education. I studied finance and marketing. And then my dad every once in a while would just, come home and give me a national bestseller, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley, or, Robert Kiyosaki. This is several editions later, but he also had Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And if you haven't read those books, I encourage you, hand them out because they're just wonderful. Or refresh them if you have, or if you, have friends and family, like I said, hand them out, especially for the next generation. Those are almost a must in your library at home. But in the millionaire mindset, or the millionaire next door, if you will, Thomas J. Stanley literally looked at a study of millionaires and found out that the millionaire next door wasn't the affluent that you see, especially here on social media today or on TV with celebrities and all of their bling and all the stuff and opulence. And ultimately what they call that is big hat and no cattle. Truly, that's what they say. They say, listen, if you have to show it, that means you don't have it. And we're seeing that a lot in the celebrities world. But what does it actually take to actually become a millionaire? Well, in the book, they take a deep dive into it. And what we've seen at Blanke Schein Wealth Management is most of our clients, if not all of our clients, have more than just one income stream as they built their wealth through their entire lifetime. In fact, a recent study just showed that the average millionaire has over 7 income streams. Now, let's look a little bit closer into that. What does that actually mean, Rob? Well, ultimately, unfortunately, if you're, in the world today, and our education system has failed us, I'll go on record in saying that. That's why you have to supplement your education, because you're not going to get this in schools, even high schools, unless you study it later on. Unfortunately, you're just not going to get it for the most part. And so you have to go out there and tune into Blanke Schein Wealth Management, and we'll help you on a daily basis. But that being said, there's, most people are stuck in the one job, one salary mindset. That's over 95 plus Americans. They're thinking they're one job, they're one salary, they're a W-2 employee, and ultimately they're on the rat race and they really can't get out. Well, one of the ways is you basically save your way out of it, but you also then invest in other ways as you're doing that. So you live within your means, is what our clients have done, is what we've seen. You start off where you are and you live within your means and you start a side hustle. That's what the kids call it today. That means you start a business, and a business then ultimately you build it on your nights and weekends. You still keep your day job. That's what ultimately the fact is. The millionaires ultimately have kept their number one job until their business, and they worked on their business on nights and weekends. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to start my business and I'm going to work on zero income, because your business when it first starts is zero income producing, right? You have to have both. So you basically work on a side hustle, and then that business then starts producing some fruit for you. But also you look at, if you're in a business and you're doing it right, you can have some royalties, right? So you can start selling your intellectual property. A lot of the millionaires have done this. But then you also look at real estate as well. Real estate is a great tool to building wealth. Again, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it's a must read for everybody. And if you haven't done it, again, please reread it. And also rental income, commercial income, all kinds of income. You start off with your first house, and maybe you save your first house, and you could do a cash out refi, and you go jump to a second house, and you make your first house after 2 years. You turn that into a rental, and that then produces a cash flow for you. And that's also a good tax-free way over time to start building wealth. There's ultimately also tax strategies associated with that, but that's another way of also building your wealth. While again, you're working, you're creating your side hustle, you're also living in an asset that you're paying yourself, and then you're also saving for retirement at the same time, right? You're putting away in your 401k. Well, down here, everything in blue, out of the 7 that are up here, we help with at Blanke Schein Wealth Management. We also help with stock dividends, right? You roll over your 401k when you retire. We help you with that 401k. It's in an IRA, and then we manage it properly, but we also create cash flow. And inside that cash flow, it's diversified. So just like we're diversifying here our income streams, that's what millionaires do. They have multiple sources or streams of income. That's diversification. So they're recession proof. There's a theme here. You also diversify your investments. Obviously, we can do rental income, publicly traded REITs for our cash flow and our real estate minded clients, but we also have clients that have a lot of real estate portfolios outside of here. So we normally just focus here, which is fixed income, let's say, or bonds or tax-free municipal bonds that create passive income. Okay, just paying us all the time while we're sleeping, while, as we go about it. So we're collecting interest. Obviously, the bank right now, CDs used to provide income. Right now, the bank and the interest, that's not a thing, because cash is not really working for us. So you have to find other ways, but it also is a way of structuring income. Dividend income, so value play or Warren Buffett type stocks, what we do for our clients here at Blanke Schein Wealth Management. It's a stock value company, if you will, that is very well known but has a cash flow. It pays a cash flow. And so by way of a dividend. And what's important about that is you can't fake a cash flow. You can't fake a dividend, right? The business is either earning money and paying it out to its shareholders, or it's not. And either that cash flow is either growing because they're executing on a great business strategy, or it's not. And so we like the dividend growers, so where your cash flow over time grows as inflation is there, as the business is able to pass along the increased input costs, which are inflationary costs. So it's a price elasticity that gets passed along. The profitability is still there for the company profit still grows. It still keeps kicking out a dividend or a passive cash flow. Again, clients are taking advantage of that. And then there's the growth side of the portfolio. It's all the high-tech growth names that right now are super sexy, if you will, in the sense of like, oh, they're great ideas and they're going to change the world in the future. Well, they're not paying a cash flow right now because they're using that cash flow to reinvest in their business to grow faster. They have a higher growth multiple. That's okay. We're going to hold them because they're going to grow faster on an equity or a business than this, because this is an established business. This is just paying out cash flow slow and steady to its shareholders. This one's retaining the cash flow internally and then reinvesting so it could 10 or 15 times multiple on the stock itself. That's okay, because we will own a portion of that in our client's portfolio and it'll appreciate. And then when we need additional funds, we sell a little bit off the top and we rebalance from time to time. But that's also part of the Millionaires diversified ultimately net worth and cash flow. So you can see on here, we can go further in depth, but this is a high level overview to expand your mindset. Now, if you have or know somebody, if you're in this job and you have one source of income and you're depending upon Social Security on the other side and you're younger, we need to have a conversation, because Social Security is not going to be there for you. If you know somebody who's in that, send them to Blanke Schein Wealth Management. We'll send them straight. We'll have this conversation, multiple generations. We have a lot of grandparents that are clients, and we have multiple generations that we cover with regards to who we serve. So we love those conversations. I love talking to the kids, the grandkids, and even the great grandkids. And we'll talk about all the different aspects of expanding your mind. It's good to have a side hustle, and it's also great to work nights and weekends, but it all starts with the education. So that's our update for today. I hope you learned something. And if you did and you like this, please like and subscribe and share. Don't be shy. Share with everyone else. So enjoy your long day weekend, or Labor Day weekend, or Martin Luther King Day weekend, your longer weekend. And stay healthy and safe. Thanks for watching.